Hi there, Gada Vanderpool from MamaGoesBam.com. It's been a while since I've done a video update of any kind, and was recently tagged in actually two blog posts, one from Maggie at Literary Winner, and the other was Dawn at The Cheap is the New Classy. And it's a meme that's going around at the moment that was started by Nicole over at mamanyc.net. And basically she wrote up why she started blogging, and then tagged 5 other bloggers, and they've written up why they started blogging, and then they, on and on and on. So I've been tagged and asked to say why I started MamaGoesBam.com. It's a bit of a long-winded story, so I thought maybe a video would be a good way to do it. I was blogging for quite a long time. I can't remember how many years really. And I had a blog before this one, and it just wasn't going the way that I wanted to. It kept changing direction, and at the beginning of 2011 I basically decided to call it quits on that one. And yeah, it was quite a big move because I've been thinking of doing that for quite a few months, but just, didn't want to let go of it. If you're a blogger, you'd understand I got it up to sort of a PR4. I had quite a few followers and readers, but it just kept changing and waffling, and I wasn't happy with it. So set the reset button, but I still wasn't sure what I wanted my new blog to be. And it was around that time that my husband and I decided that we would have number 2. And a couple of months later, we also found out that my husband had the opportunity to be relocated to New York. At that time we were in New Zealand. So things were all a bit crazy within a 3-month span. I wanted to start the blog, we decided we'd have a baby, and we found out that we had the chance to relocate to New York. So we took up the opportunity to go to New York, and we went ahead and got pregnant as well. And at that time I thought that I'd start a blog about the relocation process, because it was pretty crazy getting a work visa, just having to save up for the move, and what it was like getting a relocation company and finding a house and dealing with people in New York and dealing with finishing up my job, and then as well, I guess, being pregnant and dealing with figuring out the whole system in New York. But I was incredibly sick during that pregnancy. The 3-month mark came and I was still sick. The doctor kept saying, oh, it'll pass. But I was getting sicker and sicker. I was losing weight. I couldn't keep anything down. One of the only things I could eat was Burger King. It's pretty gross. Anyways, all that to say that I didn't start the blog on the relocation process, even though I wanted to. I just didn't have the energy to actually do it. I actually needed to focus on actually relocating. But we then arrived in New York in the beginning of, or the end of August, and at that time I decided that I wanted to actually start a blog on being in New York and what it was like to be in New York with children. Living in New York was always on my bucket list, but I thought once I started a family that it wasn't going to happen. But it happened, and it's a totally different experience from what I originally thought. Like, I always thought if I was in New York I'd come as a single person, have the whole Sex and the City experience. But being here as a family is great, and having had Isla here was great, and raising a toddler, it's all a really neat experience. And so I've just decided to chronicle it, because I'm not the first person to move to New York. There's tons of expats in this city, tons of families in this city, so I'm just enjoying writing up what it's like being in New York, what it's like finding sort of family-friendly, affordable things to do in New York, because I think that's a big thing in New York. There is a lot to do, but if you try to do everything, it could be quite expensive, getting to all the courses and museums and whatnot. So yeah, there's places to go to have fun, and even just parks and whatnot. So yeah, that's how I basically started it, was just being here and finally deciding that, okay, right, I didn't chronicle the actual move, but now I've got the opportunity to chronicle what it's like finding a place to live, what it's like getting to know the neighborhood, getting to know the people, what I think of the city in general. So yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. I'll write up a little bit more over on the blog as well, so that's mamagoesbam.com, and I'm also going to tag 5 other bloggers and ask them to hopefully share their stories of why they started their blogs, because it's a really neat experience. So thanks Nicole from MamaNYC.net for starting this, and thank you Maggie at literarywinner.com and Dawn at Cheap is the New Classy for both tagging me. It's been fun to kind of think about why I started the blog. So I hope you go on over and read a little bit more and see who I tagged. Thanks.